Doctor Who's 60th anniversary is just around the corner, and it looks like David Tennant might be the only Doctor returning. What?
What?
Let's get into it. So I found this Reddit post and it really intrigued me. If no other past Doctors for the 60th, how would you feel? Strange wording, but I'm with it. I know Tennant is playing 14 before the Smarties come out of the woodworks, but for the purpose of this question, he's a returning actor playing the Doctor again. So if he was the only one, would you be okay with that? A very interesting question, Buster Gaming 777, and one that we will attempt to answer today in another returning segment, According to Reddit. This is a thing we do on the channel every now and again, and if you haven't been to this channel before, hey, why not subscribe? Pretty please, we make new videos every week. Pretty much. My biggest disappointment is Eccleston not being on good terms with the BBC/Doctor Who team. I'd love to see him interact with the other Doctors. Yeah, look, I don't think that's going to happen. I think there might have been a version of reality where if Russell T Davies didn't come back as showrunner, that maybe, just maybe, Christopher Eccleston would have come back for the 60th. But the fact that it's Russell T in charge again, and him and Julie seem to be the main problem that Christopher Eccleston had a problem with, yeah, it's not happening. It's just a real shame because, you know, since he started doing these conventions, since he started doing Big Finish, he's kind of had a bit more love for the show, way more love than he has for the past decade. So it's a shame, but yeah, I really don't think Eccleston's gonna rock up at all. Quite disappointed. The anniversary specials are when I feel the show can look back and pay respects and poke fun at its past. Being honest, the 60th specials trailers haven't gotten me interested as they feel too much like Series 4 Reunion rather than an actual anniversary special. I'm hoping RTD will surprise me. I'm hoping RTD will surprise me too. But let's be real, the first episode, The Star Beast, I can almost guarantee you will feel like a Series 4 episode. I don't think it'll have that much a connection to the past. I know The Star Beast is based on a 4th Doctor comic, that's a really deep cut, but I think the first episode will just be establishing the Doctor and Donna again, which will very much feel like Series 4. I think the really big nostalgia stuff will happen in episode 2, Wild Blue Yonder, and episode 3, The Giggle. Those two will be really nostalgic for the entirety of Doctor Who, but the first special I think will just feel nostalgic for Series 4 and 2008, if we're being honest here. I'd be pretty disappointed. Anniversary specials have always been multi-Doctor affairs, so breaking this trend now would be a shame. I'm happy Tennant's back, but what I wouldn't give to see Tennant, Smith, and Capaldi all at once, I mean, I mainly just want to see Capaldi again, lol. Yes, I too want to see Capaldi again, lol. It's a real shame because when Capaldi left, I honestly thought, oh, it's okay, we'll see him in the 60th because, you know, he grew up with Doctor Who, he loves Doctor Who, you know, he knows what multi-Doctor specials are. But since leaving the show, he seems to be really quite avoidant of it, you know, he doesn't really like talking about it in interviews, he says he wouldn't come back for the 60th, and so I hope his time on the show didn't scare him off coming back to the show because he's bloody brilliant. But maybe it's just a thing, you know, when you've been filming Doctor Who for 5 years, the last thing you want to do is go back to that show. But maybe given time, you know, they ease up with their unwillingness to come back because, you know, like we saw with Christopher Eccleston, he was adamant I'm done with Doctor Who, I'm not doing anything. And now you can listen to a beautiful range of Big Finish audios from him. So maybe, you know, Capaldi for the 70th, but I don't think it'll be the 60th. It'll be a nice cameo if it's there, but I think that's highly unlikely. I'll be sad if 11 isn't there. The one actor who I think is the most likely to come back is Matt Smith. He left the role in 2013 and it seemed like, you know, he was done with Doctor Who. You know, he's doing The Crown, he's doing Morbius. But since these specials are led by David Tennant and, you know, those two have worked together before on Doctor Who in the 50th and it was electric.
Compensating? For what? Regeneration, it's a lottery.
And I'm pretty sure he said that in multiple interviews. He'd be like, yeah, I'd be interested in coming back for sure. So I don't know whether that means he actually hasn't been asked and he's wanting to be asked. Because if he was actively denying it, you know, it might be like an Andrew Garfield type thing where it's like, I don't know anything about it. But when actually he does know everything about it. But yes, I think it would be a major missed opportunity if Matt Smith didn't at least cameo or something. Do something with Matt Smith. I think it would just make the whole thing feel very nostalgic. Honestly, I'd be fine with it. The power of the Doctor has satisfied me on giving classic Doctors their moments, and I never really expected Smith or Capaldi to come back. The expanded universe has also done years of more traditional multi-Doctor meetups, so they've kind of started to lose their novelty for me. Yeah, that is very true. In Big Finish and comics, there are a lot of multi-Doctor meetup things because that is exciting. It's an exciting thing, and you can kind of do those things without the actors having to actually be in the same room. You know, they can record their audio separately, or they can just be drawn in by a beautiful artist. But for me, personally, Personally, I haven't read or heard any Multidoctor stories, so the novelty is not lost on me, but it's lost on you because you enjoy Doctor Who more than me. Probably, even though I have a Doctor Who YouTube channel. How crazy is that? Honestly, I'd be fine with it. Doctor Who anniversary stories shouldn't be limited to just wheeling out old favorites for a victory lap. I'll be very happy to see a past Doctor, or 15 of them, show up for the 60th. But I'm excited to see RTD attempt a different kind of anniversary story. That's true, that's interesting, because we had Moffat helm the 50th, we had Chibnall helm the BBC Centenary special, but yeah, RTD didn't get to write an anniversary story, so this is his attempt. He's like, you know what, we're gonna do it 3 parts, I'm gonna get back David Tennant and Catherine Tate. That's what I'm gonna do. But Russell loves a surprise, he loves a reveal, so I'm sure he's got so many tricks up his sleeve, but I couldn't tell you what they are. I don't think it's Christopher Eccleston though. Kinda upsetting. Classic Who actors always seem so willing to come back for more, or even just do a cameo appearance. It's really upsetting that we are now 6 Doctors into the New Who era, and Tennant is the only one willing to reprise the role. That's so true. David Tennant's been in everything. Like, he's been the 10th Doctor outside of Doctor Who. He's been the 10th Doctor in Family Guy, and he did like a Muppets live show. He loves being the Doctor. He absolutely loves it. He'll never stop loving Doctor Who and that role. Which is probably why when you say Doctor Who, like his face and Tom Baker are the two you probably associate with if you're the general public. Given RTD's company is owned by Sony now, I'm disappointed that they haven't secretly brought back Andrew Garfield's character from that Dalek 2-parter so they can have him contractually obliged to lie in interviews all the time again. That's so funny. That's what we were just talking about. I think it would be very funny if they brought back Andrew Garfield's character. I understand that Sony now has like a share in Bad Wolf, who are now producing Doctor Who, but I don't think just because Sony is both Spider-Man and now kind of sort of Doctor Who that we're gonna get Andrew Garfield's character back from the Daleks in Manhattan. If that happens, you can I will eat this hat. I promise. Write in your calendars, folks. When the 60th happens, if Andrew Garfield's in it, I will eat this hat. I will be very disappointed if none of Moffat's characters show up, especially Smith and River. I'd love Capaldi also, but that doesn't seem like it's happening. No, it doesn't seem like that's going to happen, but interestingly with River, a lot of people want River back. I want River back. I recently interviewed Alex Kingston, and she said she wants to be back.
Oh my gosh, if I was offered a chance to come back for any sort of a storyline, I'd bite their hand off and say yes, absolutely.
And weirdly enough, it would kind of line up because, you know, the first time we see David Tennant and Alex Kingston is in The Silence of the Library. And she looks at David Tennant's face and is like, oh, this is like a really young face.
Look at you. You're young.
I'm really not, you know.
But it kind of works because if River did show up in the 60th, you know, this will be a future version of the Doctor, but still looking like David Tennant, so it would all kind of work out in that weird little timeline where nothing is contradicted. So really it would be a good opportunity to bring River back, but I don't think that's happening. If that's the big twist in Wild Blue Yonder, I'll be shocked, but I really don't think that's happening. River was very much a Moffat thing. I don't think Russell's gonna do it, but you could prove me wrong. The only one I want is Capaldi, but apparently he's done with Doctor Who, so I really don't care. So if it's just David, I'm fine with that. Yeah, look, I think that's just gonna be it. It's just gonna be David, and we're gonna have to be fine with it. I will print out t-shirts that with the 60th Doctor Who logo, and it's gonna say, it's just David, and on the back it's gonna say, I'm fine with that. That's what we're dealing with. But from me, my personal opinion, I don't think there's gonna be any other Doctors. I think there might be some kind of cameo where they like do like a whole degeneration thing, but that's currently what they're doing in the new like Big Finish range. I'm pretty sure they're doing a whole degeneration thing, so I don't think they'll rock up. I think there will be cameos, I think there'll be little surprises, but as far as returning Doctors, I don't think so, and that's sad, but you know, it's gonna be a different kind of anniversary, so we'll just see. In Russell we trust, but if it's just David, I'm fine with that. And with that being said, please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think there's going to be any returning Doctors? Who do you think's coming back? Please let me know in the comments below, and I'd be very appreciative of that. And that is going to do. Please like this video, please subscribe if you've not already, and I'll see you very, very shortly. Allons-y!